Jalen Duren is very interesting to watch, right? When does that?
I don't think a sign and trade's really on the table for Jalen Duren. At least I haven't heard of it yet. So
Detroit has nixed that idea completely. The Kings, for example, would have and would remain very interested in Jalen Duren in a sign and trade scenario, but Detroit is just not.
I think if Detroit showed a willingness to do a sign and trade for Jalen Duren, there'd be a number of teams calling, but they're just not.
Very true.
And throwing some more fire in the Jalen Duren pit, Brian Windhorst, it continues to be a story where he says that, hey, Jalen Duren, if the Pistons was willing to sign and trade him, there would be more than just Sacramento that would be suitors for Jalen Duren. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I still maintain, I'm like damn near 100%, let's just say 97.3% sure he's going to be on the Detroit Pistons come start of the season. I believe that's going to be the case. Penny Hardaway says it's hard here, but we haven't heard much from him, and I think that's very smart because anything you say is going to be leveraged against you. I love Detroit. I want to be here in Detroit. And then you leave, and then, people like, you lied, we hate you now. And you know what I mean? The best thing is to be silent and just work. Enjoy your summer, work. You hear all the rhetoric about the playoffs. At 1 minute, they hate you. 1 minute, they love you. I remember Dr. Dre, he had a song called Let Me Ride. He said, he used to be out and about and wouldn't nobody speak. Now he come booming up the street. Is it Dre? Is it Dre? That's what they saying every motherfucking day in LA. It can switch that quick. Your life can change that quick. Everybody can hate you. And then something happen and everybody can love you. You have one bad thing happen to you in life, and then it just seems like 10 bad things happen to you in life. You just like, damn, you be wanting to give up, and then bam. Sometimes them 10 bad things had to happen for one big thing to happen. And I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason, but I want to say this before I continue on. How he's played this from an individual standpoint is beautiful. Now, how his agent handled it, I can't tell you. Because of the results, his agent do all this and he get $287 million, or he gets what he wants, whatever that is, because he hasn't came out and said it. Nobody has. If he gets what he wants, his agent is a fucking hero. Regardless of what you think or what I think, his agent is a hero. If he get what he wants, his agent bag is tied to Jalen Duren. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, but you got to remember that, man. Like, sometimes we be ready to give up. It's been times where shit don't go right. Everything is just crumbling behind. And there's sometimes some of the best things that happen for you in life and one of the worst things that happen at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you ever had that feeling where you got to pee and you thirsty? This is it ain't even bittersweet. But that's just what it is. But he's played it beautifully because he hasn't came out and said nothing. Just stay behind the scenes, enjoy your summer, work on your game, work on your body, and shit, it is what it is. But you start going out here giving press clippings, doing interviews, campaigning to be for Detroit or out of Detroit, and it can go bad. So at some point, if it's not getting done, then you need to kind of dip up in there or slide in there and negotiate for yourself and tell your agent, get more marching orders. But yeah, I'm pretty sure teams, that's why I said when they talk about nobody has salary cap, that don't matter because the Pistons was expecting to get somebody back for Jalen Duren. They're expecting that. And then you had the rumor that came out that they see Asar Thompson as their second best player, not Jalen Duren. But I'll tell you this, when I look at them from last season, who ready to take the leap as the second best guy, who closest to it is Jalen Duren. He's closest to it, but they got to just keep working. So ultimately, it is what it is. Because if you was entitled to something, you wouldn't be, and you would fight tooth and nail to get your chili. That's what I'm saying. Everybody want to look at it from your perspective point of, as a fan's perspective. If this was your son, or if this was you, or this was your brother, you'll want them to maximize their value. If you look here, if I ain't do it in 30 days, if I had to do it in 7 days, 3 days, 24 hours, or if it took me 110 hours to get where I need to get, or 120 days, until we get that money right. If the money ain't right, it is what it is. I got to explore other options, but of course people would be happy to have them. If you have 4 teams that was happy, you lucky if, really you get one good deal out of the 4 teams, one deal you really, really like. When I look at when Shaq was traded, and I'm not comparing Shaq to Duren, I don't feel like they got proper value for Shaq. You know, I feel like what they have a Karan Butler, Lamar Odom. I thought they could have got more for Shaq, but hey, it is what it is. So, you know, of course, there's going to be a number of people that's going to be interested in trading for Jalen Duren. We know that. I know it. So that ain't nothing, no. 22, 23 years old, young center. What y'all thought it was going to be? It's going to be shooters. Think about Michael Porter ain't been paid yet. Somebody might put a 3-team trade together, but my beliefs is he gonna be here. You know, and that's just my opinion on it. He gonna be here. So y'all can fight tooth and nail about it. We can argue about it. We can go every day about it. But till he ain't here no more, it is what it is. And think about the risk that he taking. Every day you go outside, what if you get into an accident? You ain't got a contract signed either. What if you working out and you tear your ACL? You ain't got a contract signed either. Now, would it be in the Pistons' best interest, even if something, you know, happened to him like that, to still sign him? Yeah. Yeah. But you know, we take for granted that we walk outside, we gonna walk back in. So when we come back home, we gonna work in the same way too. So that's a risk too. Every day he go out here, take a flight, dribble basketball, jog, step out of bed, you know, he can break something to pop something too. So you want that financial security of those fully guaranteed contracts. But hey, hit the link in the description. You can find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole nine. All the links in the description. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Aiming for, I believe. I could get behind 35 million. 38's a little bit too pricey for me, but anything under 40, I guess I'll take at this point. I do want to see Jalen Duren stay on the Pistons. I do believe that he can develop a little bit more. I haven't been the biggest fan of Duren this offseason. I've been pretty vocal about that, but I'm not completely out on him, altogether. I really would be shocked if he took that $9.6 million qualifying offer.
Jalen Duren, just sign the damn contract. Don't let your agent ruin your legacy and your career. The Detroit Pistons and Jalen Duren standoff continues with the most pointless news coming out today that the Pistons aren't entertaining any sign and trade offers for Jalen Duren. We already knew that, right? They're basically forcing his hand. Season is only 2 months away with the Pistons playing the Boston Celtics on opening night, and nothing has changed since the start of the offseason, and that is due to Jalen Duren's agent, Chafee Fields of Wasserman. Since Jalen Duren made All-NBA third team, he was eligible for a Supermax contract worth $287 million, which was an insane bump from the $239 million he was eligible for before he made that team. But we all know how he performed in the playoffs, and the Pistons would rather spend that money on Asar Thompson, which they believe is their number 2 player behind Cade Cunningham. But there's also this scenario involved. Say he says no to the reported $150 million multi-year deal that the Pistons are offering him. He can actually accept this $9.6 million qualifying offer that makes him an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Now, if he does this could be the biggest FU that a potential franchise leading player has done to the team that has drafted them in recent memory. But if he does do this and takes the qualifying offer to get the hell out of Detroit in a year, it's also the biggest FU to Trajan and Tom Gores for not giving him the Supermax. The facts are, Jalen Duren is not a Detroit Piston. He is not on any NBA roster. So what is he going to do about it? Well, this is also really interesting. He still has a youth basketball camp going on this Sunday in Sterling Heights, Michigan that he hasn't canceled yet. But I was actually asked to go to this event and participate. So maybe I could convince him to sign his contract and remain in Detroit. Let me know if I should go.